Hi guys, it's Dan here. I want to talk about something today that the youth really doesn't understand about older people. We were young too. It's like we were 20 and 25 years old, and suddenly we wake up and we're like in our 60s. Our youth doesn't really know that it's a lot harder for us to get around. Um, the weather, just the weather alone, affects our schedule. If it's raining out, we can't just go running down the street, um, running around to different stores. We have to plan these things out. We might not even be able to go out. Like it's been really hot here in New York City. We can't really go out. It could be 90. A couple of weeks ago, it was near 100 degrees. And the humidity. We can't go out and all that. Everything that we do, um, pretty much after 55, it has to be planned out. We have to make appointments. We have a lot more to do. When we go to the grocery store, it's an event. It's an event. We have to plan out what we're going to buy because we're mostly on a budget. We're going to check different prices at different stores and plan out our travel route to get the best possible deals on food or whatever. You might want to buy a new hat. You find the best store. It's an event. If you're going to drive in your car, or in my case, take the subway, it's $3 to take the subway. You have to budget that. Your timing has to be right. It's not like when you're in your 20s where you go here and you go there and you meet friends over here and you spend money or you meet somebody and you spend money and you do all these things running around. Not like that with us. We have to have air conditioning. We have to have heat, and usually the heat has to be turned on higher than when we were a kid, and our air conditioner, if you could afford it, is always running. I mean, how are we gonna survive in 100 degrees in our houses or our apartments? We can't. And forget about really having a car in the city. Cars in the city, it's about $500 to put your car in the lot. Um, and then the insurance you have to worry about, the maintenance, and some people they park their cars on the street so they could get out of paying this huge bill. But but there's a lot of drawbacks when you're older. And you know what I wanted to do, and I'm in my 60s. What I really want to do, and I don't like New York City, and I would love to buy some land um, out somewhere where it's not going to be too hot or too cold. I'd like to have a little stream and build my own little cabin uh, and have panels on the roof. Get my water from the stream, have it pumped in. Wouldn't that be great? I'd be out in the middle of nowhere, have a cheap beat up car, and I could go into town. Be out there with the birds and the bear and the elements. But it has to be, the drawback with that is doctors. Uh, if something comes up, an emergency comes up, what am I going to do? And that's another thing that we have to do is we have to make appointments, and it's not one doctor. You might have or five different specialists, and go to each one, and you know, uh, I was thinking about this. Um, it's not easy because nowadays you have to get on your computer and there's these different apps that you have to, and every one of these apps you have to have an email and a password set up. and you have to be able to remember all these passwords and emails, and be able to go on these apps, and all of a sudden it doesn't work, and you have to put in a new password, and then it's going to say you already have an account, so you can't change the password. Um, so it's much different than when I grew up. When I grew up, you just ring a ding, and you call the doctor. Yeah, come on over, Dan. It's like, it's not like it was in the old days. Today, technology is good, but it's getting to be a little bit too much and too hard. Um, Another thing that I notice is uh, is that there's much less people on the street, and I think they're all at home doing YouTube videos, or on TikTok, or what's the other one? Instagram, and they're all playing around on the computer. There's much less human interaction, and a lot of older people, you know, including myself, tend to just, you know, on the phone, or on the internet, or on emails, or by text, um, in contact with people. People don't really call us anymore. They don't find us interesting. We don't really go out on the town, um, doing all kinds of crazy things when you're younger. Um, so the younger generation really needs to take a step back, and speak with us, and learn from us. But and I've tried speaking to the youth, and they don't want anything to do with us. We're too ancient, so we resort to going to the park. I see people here by Central Park West. They go in, they feed the little pigeons, um, and don't pay attention to those "Don't feed the birds" signs. Why not? This is America. Feed the birds. Um, or a lot of older people, they'll congregate around in the park, and they'll get together with their older friends and talk. And a lot of us complain about the youth, but it's kind of something to do. Complaining about the youth, I guess, will go on forever. Um, I don't plan these videos. I had an ex-girlfriend. She was much, much younger than me, and she would do the same thing to me. What she used to do is she used to wake up at the crack of 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and she'd be on that Instagram constantly, looking with these crazy videos, and basically doing nothing with her life. And I kept trying to encourage her to maybe get a job. She didn't really need a job because she comes uh, from a family that that doesn't really encourage her. But I tried to. I tried to get her out there, and take some classes, um, get out there in the world and socialize. She didn't want anything to do with it. She just wanted to play on that Instagram. Um, but anyway, I just figured today I would I would try to make a video about our youth and getting older, which is really bad. Um, it's bad with the extra stuff that we have to do. All this extra stuff, especially when you get older, it's so much harder than when you're younger. But anyway, I just wanted to come on. Oh, I put a new painting in the background here. This is can you see it? Let me move it closer. Can you see it? I guess you can't really see it. It's kind of cool, right? Empire State Building, and I did some other things here. But uh, s- so I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. So anyway, I'll catch you on the next video, guys.